Hey guys, Magenta's back here today again with another Future Buddyfight deck profile. Did I say that wrongly? Future card Buddyfight deck profile, this time featuring my 5th Omni Dragon, 5th Omni deck, featuring the new support. 5th Omni has been strong since the beginning of time when they topped tournaments, when they were first released. But after that, because of their ability to destroy opponents' monsters and stuff and gain advantage based on taking damage, but afterwards they took there wasn't really much support, and then they went down because a lot of other decks were getting like effects that protects their monsters, like your Thunder Empire can't be destroyed by effects and stuff like that. However, with the new support, they have an even greater ability to gain advantage, so that will help 5th Omni a lot. And 5th Omni is also a very consistent deck with searches and constant draw power and healing plus gauge and stuff like that. Okay, without further ado, let's get on with the deck, and at the end of the video I'll show you some of the standard formations of the deck. So first, for the size 3 monsters, we will play 4 copies of Sandstaff Arcade. So what does he do? Put the top card of your deck into this card's soul, and pay 2 gauge. 6k power, 2 crit, 6k defense. When you are dealt damage, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and you gain 1 life, and if it's your turn, draw 1 card. And call up to 1 monster with 5th Omni from your hand by paying its call cost. That card becomes size 0 until it leaves the field. This ability only activates once per turn and double attack soul guard. So basically what it does, you gain 1 life, you charge 1 gauge, and then you draw 1 card. And from your hand, you can call a 5th Omni monster and it becomes a size 0. So kind of like every grab. Yeah. Okay, the next size 3 monster we run is the new 5th Omni Dragon Lord, 5th Omni Super Dragon Lord, Fierce Deity Temple. 7k, 3 crits, 7k, double attack soul guard, and it's an Omni Lord. Put a monster from your field into this card's soul and pay 2 gauge. When this card enters the field or when you take damage, destroy all monsters on your opponent's field. It's really solid, and for the 3 crits double attack also, and it basically works as a size 0 when you have Arcade, which is the main boss monster of the deck. Yeah. Next, for the upgraded version of the 5th Omni Dragon Lord Drum, we have this 5th Omni Super Dragon Sky Emperor Mugen Drum. 7k, 2 crit, 6k power, and double attack soul guard. It's pretty cool sun logo here because of Gao. Okay, Omni Lord. This card cannot be called to the center. Put the top card of your deck into this card's soul and pay 2 gauge. When you take damage, destroy a monster on your opponent's field and you gain 1 life. So what's different from the previous drum is that you don't need to be at 6 life anymore, and when you take damage you actually gain 1 life back, so you're not losing life. Basically it's like a net change of 0. It's really solid. It's your main source of monster destruction apart from your spells. But of course you need stuff to activate your 3 boss monsters. So here we go. This is the size 2 monsters. We run 4 copies of Mirac SD. It's the original double rare version. This card cannot be called to the center. If you have a size 2 or greater Armor Dragon, the size is reduced by 2. Basically it's a size 0 that you can straight away call without using Arcade's effect. So yeah, you can just call. What does he do? Counter. Choose an Armor Dragon on its field. For this turn, give it 1k power, 1k defense, and penetrate, and you take 1 damage. The fact that you take 1 damage is the key part of the Mirac SD. So whenever you feel like it, you can take 1 damage. However, it's just once per turn. You take 1 damage, and then you can trigger the draw engine of your Sandstaff Arcade, or you can trigger a monster destruction of your Mugen Drum or Tambu. That's really the main point of this card. For the size 1 monsters, we have another card that does the similar thing as Mirac SD with the new 5th Omni Dragon Lord Drum SD. What does this Drum SD do? It's size 1 monster, which means if you want to use it with your Arcade, you're gonna have to call it with the Arcade's ability. This card cannot be called to the center. 4k power, 2 crits, 1k defense, soul guard. The skill, counter, put the top card of your deck into a soul of a monster on the field and you take 1 damage. Basically, you can charge souls and take damage instead of giving power, defense, and penetrate. It works the same way as Merak, so we run like a total of 8 copies of those monsters, support monsters you would call it, to maximize the consistency of the deck. Speaking of which, these are the most consistent cards that 5th Omni has ever gotten. If you have an originally size 2 or greater armor dragon, this card becomes size 0, 3k power, 1 crit, 1k defense. The skill, 5th Omni Resonance. When this card enters the field, put up to 1 monster or item with 5th Omni from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck, then you take 2 damage. Basically, when you call it, you can search for any of your monsters, which we have reviewed just now, or you can search for your 5th Omni item, which we will talk about next. It's really simple card, simple damage taking mechanics as well, but it's really important. Yeah. So moving on to the weapons, we run 3 copies of 5th Omni Dragon Sword Drago Brave. So Drago Brave got its upgraded form now. 5k power, 3 crits, no change to that. But its equip cost, put a hand card into this card's soul, pay 1 gauge, and you take 1 damage. So the moment you equip this item, and you put a hand card into its soul, you can take 1 damage and trigger your, say, drums effect. Okay, but what's really strong about the item, firstly it gets soul guard, means your opponent has to bomb the item twice, and next, it has an effect when you take damage as well. When you take damage, put a top card of your deck into your gauge, you gain 1 life, and if it's your turn, draw a card. Basically, it's the same as your Sandstaff Arcade. However, it's just without without the part where you can call monsters. That's really good. It's like having 2 arcades on the field. Draw engine, ridiculous. Moving on to the spells, which support the monsters and are really key to the deck. We run 4 copies of Drago Guards, 2 copies new art, 2 copies old art. Drago Guards, really simple spell, take 1 damage, gain 3 life. So it sort of works as a shield. Yeah, but it also allows you to take damage with a counter keyword. Basically, that's it. New spell, 3 copies, Dragon Lord Quick Slash. Pay 1 gauge and you take 1 damage. Counter. Destroy a monster on your opponent's field, then if you have a monster with drum on its in its card name on your field, then deal 2 damage to your opponent. Basically, using these 2 together, you can destroy 2 monsters on your opponent's field, and you can also burn damage to your opponent, which is really solid. Unless it's like a 5th Omni mirror match, then maybe you wouldn't want to burn damage. These are the counter damage taking spells, which serves as shields. Okay, moving on, we have our sort of draw engine spells. We have 1 Drago Bright 5th Omni Light, take 1 damage, put a top card of your deck into your gauge, and put 1 monster with 5th Omni from the drop zone into your hand. Simple. The next one, Drago Wisdom, Knowledge of 5th Omni. Take 1 damage, put a top card of your deck into your gauge, and draw a card. So basically, it's your charge and draw card that allows you to take damage. Yeah. Simple. And for you to trigger your Arcade's effect during your turn, you will want to use this instead of the counter cards, which could be saved for when your opponent attacks you. Yeah. Moving on to the actual protecting cards of our deck. We run 3 copies of Dragon Guard. It's a really old card. What does it do? You may only cast this if a monster on your field is being attacked. This deck plays with a close center formation, so this card is pretty solid. Change the target of the attack to you and draw a card. Basically, it's if you're left with 1 card in your hand and it's Dragon Guard, and you have your monsters, you can protect yourself. You have your monsters, but it's like your monsters are gonna get wiped. You can use this, protect your monsters, and you could even if you're lucky, you can even draw into another Dragon Guard. But of course, when you change the target, you will take damage from the opponent's attack, and you can trigger your effects like Drago Brave and stuff like that. 3 copies. Next, we have 2 copies of Drago Trap. Pay 1 gauge, pay 2 life, choose a card on your opponent's field, and for this turn, the chosen card cannot attack. Basically, to counter like the overturned hex topple attack drum, you need this card, and other stuff with like quadruple attack and stuff like that, like Jackknife Grantees. Yeah, 1 gauge and 2 life seems like a lot, but stopping the card, like say Grantees, is like stopping 8 damage for the cost of 1 gauge and 2 life and 1 hand card. That's really good. Lastly, we have 4 copies of Mercenaries. You may only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn. If it's not a link attack, nullify the link attack. Nullify the attack, sorry. Okay, basically Solomon's Shield. And because we are running a close center deck, you can't use your conventional green dragon shield or blue dragon shield. So you're gonna have to end up using this, unless you don't want to run shields, which is bad. Like if they decide to wreck your center with massive penetrate damage, then you're gonna need that to save yourself. So moving on to the last 4 cards of our deck is the draw power of the deck. 2 copies of Sky Dragon Divinity. You may only cast this card 10 or less cards in your drop zone. Pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life. Return 3 cards from your drop zone into the bottom of your deck and draw 2 cards. And the next one is Drago Genius. You may only cast this with 5 life or less. Pay 2 gauge, draw 2 cards. Simple. Reason why we don't run 4 of this Sky Dragon Divinity is because towards the late game you have like more than 10 cards. Basically it becomes a dead card in your hand. And Drago Genius just has a life requirement, and that's about it. And usually you have a surplus of gauge, so 2 gauge isn't really a problem. Alright, now moving on to the formation. So we'll have an item with a soul. And we would have our drum, Merak, Arcade. Okay, we'll lift up the camera now. Okay, this is standard formation you're going for. There's massive damage potential. You can double attack with this, double attack with this, and you can use its skill to give you a gauge. Give you 2 gauge, 2 life, and 2 cards using this card, and you can destroy a monster on your opponent's field. This is very standard formation. Sometimes you don't have drum, but instead you have your Tambu, which is really solid as well. 3 crits double attack. So the maximum damage this deck can do is like 6 plus 4, 10 plus 5, 15 damage. And some people running the impact, the Chaos Auto Deity impact, that card works really well as well. But unfortunately can't find it. Yeah, so that will increase the damage potential to 19 damage, which is sort of enough to kill your Dragon's Eye opponents in 1 turn, provided they have used like Destructor or some stuff like that. Alright, so that will be it for the deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below to show me some support. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe if you'd like to see more Buddyfight deck profiles, card reviews and stuff like that. So with that said, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, take care.